presidential debate. 8 candidates took to the stage, and we are getting a lot of reaction this morning, as you can imagine. And so joining us now is body language expert Susan Constantine. Hey, Susan, it's good to see you.
Nice to see you.
I know you had a time looking at all of these clips, right, and kind of analyzing what people may have been feeling or really thinking, right? So what we want to do is we want to show you a clip, then we want to get your reaction on the other end. Let's go ahead and give you the first one now.
You all signed a pledge to support the eventual Republican nominee. If former President Trump is convicted in a court of law, would you still support him as your party's choice? Please raise your hand if you would.
All right, so tell me what you saw there.
Oh, that was really interesting.
I thought so too.
Okay, so you saw, of course, a whole one side all raise their hand, but here's the one thing you want to look at: how high they actually raised their hand, right? So when you look at that, we're looking at their dominant hand. Which one do they normally use? Because that really speaks the truth. So the higher it is, the more likely that they would, that they're going to support Trump. The other thing is too is look at how they did this in flow, right? It went from look at the timing of when they actually raise their hand. Will tell you cognitively where they are, and also which ones, like Chris, where he was absolutely more apprehensive. So there was that, what we call a cognitive load. There was a conflict of yes versus no.
What does that apprehension mean then? And what does that raise your hand really, really high and raise your hand really, really low? And then some people hesitated as well.
Right. So your hand movements up here are more ecstatic.
Like, yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. Hand right here is kind of right, the truth, yes.
Yeah.
It's more of neutral, but yes, but look at the timing of it. But then when there's this hand that kind of comes over here, it's down low. You can see that where there was also a head shake with Chris Christie.
Yeah.
That was one that's a competing thought. So in other words, look at the timing, how quickly they put the hand up, how high they put the hand up, and how many seconds did it take for them to respond will tell them whether they have a competing thought, yes, but maybe, or yes, but possibly, yes. So when you look at it as very likely versus not likely at all.
Interesting. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the second clip now.
I'm not sure I exactly understood Mike Pence's comment, but I'll let you all parse that out. For me, it's pretty simple. That's something a U.S. president can do. Focus, and I'll deliver on it.
Well, let me explain it to you. Vivek, if I can. I'll go slower this time.
I sometimes struggle with the reading comprehension.
Look, I was a House conservative leader before it was cool. I actually pushed a Deficit Reduction Act. That was the last time we actually reduced the national debt in the United States, when I was the leader of House Conservatives. I balanced budgets and cut taxes when I was governor. I mean, look, Joe Biden has weakened this country at home and abroad. Now is not the time for on-the-job training. We don't need to bring in a rookie. We don't need to bring in people without experience. We need to bring
So even without body language, that was a not-so-veiled shot there. Let me tell you, for me, it felt like he was saying, you're the youth, you're the youngster, I'm the one who's older and wiser. What was your reading of that exchange?
So that's exactly right. So even though you're not necessarily in this field, but just it was obvious, that he was scolding him. So one of the things I want you to notice is that Mike Pence took what we call a combative stance. And so when you watch his body language, you're going to see one foot kick out behind him, and he's going to lean in. Now, when you are about ready to attack someone, you put, that's the attack stance. Then the finger pointed up, right? Scolding. He was demeaning him and demoralizing him. Really not cool. I think that was pretty obvious when you looked at or heard all the booing. And also, look at the dominant versus non-dominant hand. When you feel very strong and powerful about something, you'll use your dominant hand. When you're dismissive, you don't agree, you flip and use the opposite hand. And you see that with Mike Pence. Now, with Vivek, what we see with him is that he smiles off the stress. So
he smiles a lot.
Yeah, he does, but he uses it to his advantage. smiling, and President Obama did the same thing. Big, wide smile, very connecting to people out there. But he does it out of nervousness. That's all. Usually most people kind of laugh off a bad joke or laugh off something funny, and that's what he does. That's his defense.
I found that to be very interesting. All right, body language expert Susan Constantine, thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Good to see you. I'm going to smile. I don't know what my body language says about that, Jamie, but I'm going to turn things over to you for a look at our weather. Good morning.
I'm going to keep my hands like this during this weathercast because I'm scared. I don't want her judging me. Take a look at what